Hey everybody, it's week 3 without a really, big update video. It's just been a lot of things, little things, and really putting miles on the car. So I'm going to walk around the car again and kind of talk about what we've been doing because there's just been no time lapse. I just not had something that was worthy of it. We did a lot of cleaning. So I really cleaned up the dirt off a lot of these interior panels. The seats, we got everything ready. I put the little mirror in it if I didn't say that already. Put some floor mats in there and just been working on odds and ends, getting these things tucked away and ready to drive it around. I drove it 172 miles this weekend. You might have saw my little short. I was on the interstate, so I put a lot of mileage on this, and what I suspected, we've got a couple little issues. And I've been out here working today, so I will get to that next week. But this is causing a problem here. I just discovered this. This is pinching up against the oil filter. So I got to take this belt off and replace it and get this up further off of that oil filter. So that's causing a little bit of an oil leak. So that was one of the things there. I did a bad patch. Just basically, this is a bit of a flexible piece of plastic. So I did some wire welding or plastic welding. I got one of those plastic guns that does those metal pieces. And then this is just some gasket sealer over top of it to make sure none of the little pieces of metal that I couldn't quite cut even won't poke or jab the shit out of me. I've done a lot of work this week. And it just, I can't remember half of what I've been doing. It's just been so busy cleaning. I did this. I got this wiper on here, but it's not, I'm going to have to bend this, I guess, because it's just not sitting up here enough to, when I use it, it just doesn't hit the window right. And it's just too loose. So I think I'm going to have to bend this down kind of like that to get it really sitting on there to where, it'll do something. I'm not sure I said, but last week I worked on a lot of these lights. I got this light working here. I went and replaced it and got it wired back in. So we got light. Everything's basically street legal from a lighting standpoint. So I've been just doing these little odds and ends, trying to get things in order, to do all my test drives and all that sort of stuff. I cleaned the windows, front and back. So I tried to get this windshield cleaned off and a little more viewable. I did some WD-40 on the roof and tried to get some of this gunk off, which it didn't really work. Gave it a little bit more of a shine, but I haven't washed it since then yet. So I'm starting to work on the suspension. I'm going to save that for next episode, though. Like I said. But overall, just got to get these little things there. I was getting some squealing on my 100 amp alternator and just simply loosened it back up and then tightened it up and got this belt tighter. Now, of course, for the other piece, I'm going to have to go ahead and pull it all back off. But that's the way it goes. But I just wanted to make sure I'm giving you guys a nice little update. This one's probably short and sweet because honestly, other than driving, I can't really remember. I've been working out here all week, like I always do, and I'm having a hard time remembering what I did. Oh, wait, I remember some stuff now. So, because of the rattling, I went ahead and lowered the air shocks on the back about down to 50 PSI, which now I hear needs to be even more. But there was one of the trans tunnel screws that occasionally when you turn was catching the U-joint underneath the shifter. So that was something I took some working to work on, but currently we're still up a little bit, but I got the front end jacked up right now. But with 50 PSI on the air shocks, I probably need to drop it down another 20 PSI. For what I read about these hijackers, you need to leave it to where it's about even or just up a little bit. So I probably with 50 PSI still a little high, could be causing some of my issues. But yeah. Just odds and ends, guys. Like I said, this car's, I'm trying to get it ready for the power tour. So I need to do a little more interior stuff. Obviously, I got a lot of weirdness going on in here. I don't know how much we're going to get done in here other than putting the dash pad on. I ordered a new fuel gauge because this fuel gauge bounces around everywhere. And I think it's just these Chinese gauges. So I just got an Equus, EQUUOS or whatever the crap it is, a cheapie off of Amazon. And we'll see how that works. It's a Ford version of the gauge. So it should work just like that one and read the tank. But I don't know if it's just the weirdness of the gauge or if my sending unit's going bad or if it's just, I don't know. It seemed like the stock fuel gauge worked properly. So I'm curious to see if I use that other fuel gauge, if I'm going to get a better readout and a more consistent readout. Because this thing will be reading full, then all of a sudden it's reading half, and then it's just going to empty. It's just all over the place. And I can't tell. I mean, I get the sloshing thing, and maybe my float's bad. Maybe I need a new sending unit, but for now, we're just going to see if a new gauge will fix it. Because I don't trust any of these gauges at this point. The only one I trust is the Speedo, and I really like it. But yeah, I'm disappointed in these. I highly do not recommend buying the $180 China gauge cluster gauges off of eBay. So, but we're working as always.